December has brought us a mixed bag of changes in the GTA housing market, from the surging inventory to 48.5% increase year over year, and a sales level that's dropped just slightly at 1.8%. This month's market has quite a bit to unpack, so stick around throughout this video. I'm going to give you all the insights from the average prices to the year-over-year numbers, but most importantly, now that 2024 is complete and we're in 2025, I'm going to show you guys where most of the transactions are actually coming from in each housing category and how much money you might actually need to spend to get into each of these categories. So if you're looking to buy a townhouse in the Greater Toronto area, by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what price range the majority of these homes are selling in and what price ranges are extremely unlikely. So let's take a look at what the real estate report from the Toronto Real Estate Board has to say. The Greater Toronto real estate area housing market experienced a transitionary year in 2024. The annual sales were up slightly compared to 2023, and new listings were up significantly year over year. Because of this, buyers benefited from substantial negotiating power on price, especially in the condo apartment market. The average selling prices in 2024 did dip in comparison to 2023 as a result. Borrowing costs were on top of mind, as most buyers in 2024 were dealing with the high interest rates that presented themselves and the affordability hurdles that they were coming across. The housing market did benefit from substantial Bank of Canada rate cuts that started to happen in the back half of the year, with two back-to-back 50-point reductions. And because of this, all else being equal, the further rate cuts in 2025 are definitely expected to kind of make the real estate market move a little bit quicker, said the president of the Toronto Real Estate Board, Alicia Barry Sproul. Annual 2024 home sales amounted to 67,610, which was actually up 2.6% from the previous year, which was 65,877 sales. New listings at 166,121 were up 16% compared to the year prior. Listings increased at a greater rate than sales, provided the buyers with a lot more choice. So more inventory, less sales means that buyers are going to have an opportunity to negotiate just a little bit more. And the market conditions varied in each segment. Of course, the condo market was the best. If you're looking to buy something and get a deal, negotiating in the condo market was definitely a lot easier to do than it was in some of the other areas. So single family homes, including detached houses, increased last year, where condo apartments, like just mentioned, were down. Many would-be first-time home buyers remained on the sidelines, anticipating that 2025 would bring more rate reductions. The lack of first-time buyers impacted the less expensive condo segment more so than single family homes. Now, at the end of the day, GTA home sales amounted to 3,359 in December 2024, down slightly from the previous December. New listings were up over the same period of time, continuing the trend of well-supplied market. The MLS Home Price Index Composite benchmark was up less than 1% year over year in December. Over the same period, the average price at $1,067,186 edged slightly lower. Well, that is the TREB Real Estate Board update. Now, there's a couple things that I want to talk about before I actually get into those prices over that 12-month span that I really want to get into, that are going to show you where all the transactions are actually coming from in each category. So the first thing I want to cover before we get there is year-over-year sales summary. So price, we're obviously down 1.6%, not a big decrease all in all, considering the condo market was very stagnant. A couple things I do want to highlight here is the active listings and the sales. So we took a 48% increase in active listings year over year. So we went from, same in December. So we went from 10,000 last December to 15,000 in this past December. Sales-wise, we didn't increase. We had a slight decrease at 1.8%. So not only did we decrease our sales, we actually increased inventory about 5,000 units. So this is just going to perpetuate the market where we're seeing more buyer-friendly market and less seller-friendly. As the inventory continues to pile up, sales need to pump up as well, or we're going to see this imbalance continue here. Now, let's look at just December. What did those prices actually do? Now, you're going to see the 416 area. We're going to go down from the detached all the way to the condo. So the detached average in Toronto, 1.624, semi-detached at 1.302. $900,000 for your average townhouse, and then $719,000 for a condo apartment. And then 905, 1.336 was the average detached. Obviously 905 is big. It's gonna go all across the GTA. Obviously 905 is very big. It's gonna go across all the GTA, but this is the average detached home at 1.336. 953 was the average semi-detached, 913 was the average townhouse, and then you had the condos at 616. So it's nice to see all three categories, except for the detached, actually being below that $1 million price point. I don't know where you live. If you're living in the Toronto area, obviously it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle to get your first home outside of that condo category. If you are looking to get into the market with your very, very first property, obviously getting into a condo in the 905 is going to save you almost $100,000 just on the average price point. The averages do encompass everything. So $2 million home, $1 million home, $500,000 home, that's where the average kind of comes into play. So it's a little bit skewed in that sense. So 616 is quite a bit more than you'll spend to actually get into the 905 market. You can get a condo in Brampton for sub $500,000, for example. Now, what I really want to show you guys, the data that I'm most interested in talking about in this video here, is going to be the sales that happened by price range and housing type. What does that mean? Well, the chart that I'm going to pop up here on the screen, we're going to talk about it here. So it's going to show you the different prices on the left-hand side. It's going to show you the categories of housing on the top there. We're just going to cover condo, apartment, all the way through to the detached category here. And what I want to show you guys is where the majority of these transactions are essentially coming from. Let's start with the condo category. If you see 5,600 and 4,600 units that were sold in the condo categories between 500,000 and 700,000. Specifically, between 500 to 600,000, you're going to see 5,600 transactions. So what is this chart actually telling you when we're looking at it here? It's telling you if you're looking to buy a condo, you're going to see majority of sales happening in these two categories, which is great. It gives you kind of a benchmark to look at when you're thinking about getting into the market. Let's say you only have $300,000, but you want to get into the real estate market, you're looking for a condo, look at the options, right? You're seeing only, between 200 and 299,000, only 39 transactions actually happen there. How likely is it that something is going to happen in that price range? Well, very unlikely given the numbers that we're looking at here. When you're seeing this 0 to 99 category, you might be asking yourself, what is this? How is somebody getting anything for less than 100 grand? These are probably coming up as parking spots. That would be my best guess when it comes to these guys here, or potentially lockers that may have been sold separately. Now, condos, obviously, spend under 700,000, you're going to be able to get yourself into a condo without an issue. We've got almost 10,000 plus transactions that happen out of 18,000 under 700. Condo townhouses, on the other hand, a little bit more division. You have starting between 600 and 700,000, 1,100 transactions. You're going 7 to 800, you get a little bit more, 1,400, and then you have another 1,000 transactions around that 8 to 900,000, and then we peter off. Obviously, 2 million plus. You got 25 transactions. Very, very rare to see a condo townhouse in that 2 million plus range. So, looking for a condo townhouse, 600 to 900. It's a bigger range, but it depends where in the GTA you're actually going to want to be living. Townhouses, this is going to kind of trend down in terms of the chart here, but up in terms of price. So obviously you're going to get less transactions happening under 800, but then once you go from 8 to 900, we have 1,426, another 1,401 between 900 and a million. And then a million to 1,250,000, you're gonna have 1,500 transactions. Yes, this is a bigger amount of transactions, but keep in mind, now we have a $250,000 price bracket. So if you're looking for a condo townhouse, really it's between 800 and $1 million where the majority of these sales are happening. Now, the semi-detached, you're going to have a little bit more of a split than you've seen in the other ones, but for the most part, 900, $2 million, you have 1,300 transactions that happen. And then once again, 1 million to 1.250 is 1,700 transactions, but that is a $250,000 price bracket. And finally, the detached home category. If you're looking to buy a detached home, you can really scratch it off your list if you have under $700,000. Even though you had 650 transactions there, that's definitely on the lower end. So let's see really where the most predominant transactions happened. And as you can see, that's where there were 6,800 and 6,094 transactions. That was between the 1 to 1.250 and then 1.250 to $1.5 million. So if you're looking for a detached home, this is where you're going to see the most inventory, potentially meaning the most negotiating options for you as a buyer. If you're looking sub $1 million, you're going to see less transactions. So 3,000, 2,300, 1,300, 659. When you see less transactions, it means you're going to have to compete more with the buyers. There's obviously less homes that are coming up in these price ranges, and then more people who obviously want to spend less on getting into the housing market. So something to consider. This chart for me is really what it's all about. This is over the course of all of 2024. So it really gives you a good example of how things looked on a full year. A lot of the time we talk about these monthly numbers, and yes, things change year over year on that same month, but there's a lot that's going on. This is going to give you that whole scope in the year and show you really where things are at. So looking to get into one of these housing categories, I hope this actually gives you a little bit of clarity on what price you might expect to pay or what price range you should expect to pay. Maybe by looking at this, you say to yourself, wow, I didn't think I maybe had the option to get a detached in this price range, or maybe it really just narrows you down and says, hey, I really only can afford a condo townhouse right now, so let's stop thinking about all the other options. I hope this video provided you some value if you're looking to get into the Greater Toronto Area real estate market or the Toronto real estate market. Feel free, you can reach out to me at the number here on screen. We can chat about what the options look like for you in the Greater Toronto Area. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to text me or shoot me an email at the contact information down below. Don't forget, the pinned comment is going to have all my free resources for you as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.